Good day, Lean Ascenders. We'll try to do a short video to share a couple of tips, modification for the Lean Ascent, as well as climbing tips to climb, thin bark trees and leaning trees. Been busy lately shipping a lot of products. Feedback has been really good. And hunting as well. The duck season has started here. We took a bunch of kids out, and now we are looking forward to deer season opening this weekend. In terms of easy modification, the first one is probably the grip tape. We now have our own grip tape that you can buy on our website. The nice thing about it is that it's being cut to the right width, so you don't have to mess with cutting 2 inches wide grip tape. It's made of PVC, so it's supposed to be more durable. We are pretty happy with it. Modification number 2 we hear from a lot of people is to put some steel strip on the sidearm. That way you can see the dipping is not going to make noise anymore. Those things are really here for safety. It's like your safety belt. You will probably, hopefully, never need them. But in case the cable, or you maneuver the platform in a way where the cable can dislodge, that's going to make sure the cable cannot get out. So that's why we have them. James and I are coming from medical devices. We take safety very seriously, and that's why you have them here. This cable is just here to make sure that dipping is not going to be lost. So we apologize. We know it can be noisy if you are not careful with it, but safety is more important for us. Some people replace the cable with this little bungee. Another thing about safety, we have this cord here. You want to connect that on your saddle or harness, so in case you lose your platform you can retrieve it. This is really important. You can also find that on climbers. I believe we are the only one with it. That's also critical. And in terms of safety, the Lean Ascent has been tested by the TMA standards, by one of the only 2 US accredited companies. So we pass all tests, and that's also very important for us to make sure the product is safe for use. Another little tip is maybe to put something here, so then you don't make noise. But again, if your bolts are tight, it's not going to be a problem. Another good practice, the noise, most of the noise you get, probably all the noise you get is coming from the deep in, so that's going to take care of it, and the cables when you feed them in and take them out. We'll go through that later in the video, but if you use your 2 hands, you will see that you can really maneuver the cable with no noise at all. But if you want to reduce noise, instead of adjusting both sides, I have one side already adjusted. I usually climb trees where I only need to have 2 or 3 bolts out. So my left side is always ready to go with 2 bolts out. My right side has almost all bolts out. That way when I get to the tree, that's going to be very easy to pop this out. And then I will make the adjustment only on the right side. So that way I reduce the manipulation, I reduce the noise. So that's one tip. And since I was talking about safety, on some pictures, videos, sometimes you will see the sidearms going inside a little bit like this. It's not getting bent. We have this reinforcement right here, and that allows the sidearms to pivot a little bit. So depending on the configuration of your tree, if the tree is really wide, I think it's going to be straight. If the tree is very small, that's going to pivot a little bit. It is by design. So that's the kind of tree I like to climb. So if I get to the wood, this will be on my shoulder. So once I get to the tree, first things I will do is that I will put my platform on the ground. I will take my tether out, and then I'm going to put it on the tree as high as I can and get it tight. So like everything, you need to make sure you put tension on it. Okay, once my tether is in position, I'm going to connect later. Before I step on the platform, I'm going to grab my platform. I'm going to get it in position and likely to put it on the ground so it's more silent. You get the dipping out slow, If you put your fingers to guide it, you see it's very silent. Same for the cable. You use your two hands, one hand to guide, one hand to push. You can see no noise at all. Once you are here, you are going to get the cable around the tree and back in your platform. You can control your platform like you will do with a climber with your body. That way you have your two hands free, or you can do it with just one hand. But basically same operation. You get it in, you go slow, and you have one hand that push and that one hand that guide. In this case, my left hand is pushing, my right arm is guiding. And as you can see, I did not make any noise, even if the platform slipped a little bit. Once you are here, push the cable back up so it's in contact. Now you are ready to go. In this situation, I don't have enough, so I'm going to get the platform out. And make the adjustment just like this. Now I'm going to put the D pin back in. So same thing, if you go slow, you are not going to make any noise. Get it connected, did not make any noise at all. Now I'm going to put the platform, make sure you put some pressure. It works like a lineman's belt, you know. So the more you put pressure on the outside of the platform, the more it bites. If you put weight in front, it's going to tip over like any climber would do. Okay, so now I'm going to be almost ready to climb. I'm going to get, you know, the safety loop out, and I'm going to connect it to my saddle or my harness. I'm wearing a harness today. Make sure you connect it not on the bungee but on the rope. Alright, now I'm going to adjust my tethered. As I mentioned, if you want to be safe, remove the slack. So get the post down, get it tight, and now I'm going to use my rope to climb up. So as you can see, it's pretty high, maybe almost 3 feet. So I'm going to put one foot in the middle on the outside to make sure the platform remains centered, and I'm going to put my foot in the foot loop and use the rope potentially like this and the tree to get up, just like this. As soon as I'm up, I'm removing the slack, so if something happens, I'm safe. Now I'm going to put my second foot in, and now I'm ready to adjust my tether and climb up. So when you climb thin bark trees, if you want a better bite similar to a lineman's belt, the more I put my weight away from the tree, the more I'm pushing the platform in the trunk, and the more it's going to bite. If I get in front, especially when it's wet or on trees with not a lot of barks, you know, I can tip the platform and it can fall down. So the more difficult the tree is to climb, the more you want to be away from it to put your weight on your back heels. So here we go. So let's say I'm coming down. Now I'm getting to a position where I want to climb down. I'm going to get 1 foot out, 2 foot out, put my foot, you know, in the middle of the platform. And if I want to get my right foot out, I am going to put my left foot more toward the center. I'm going to put a little bit of slack, and now I'm going to use the tether to get down slowly, just like this. All right, so once I'm here, I can now disconnect my tether from my harness or my saddle. I can put it back in my backpack or in my vest, to get it out of the way. Now I'm taking my string out and I'm going to put it back in place. Remember, if you do it when the platform is on the tree, you don't have a lot of grip because you don't have any weight on the platform, and there is no strap. So keep that in mind because the platform can fall down. But it seems today it's pretty stable, and I can always put pressure on the outside. So here we go. Now this is going to be ready for next time. I will get the post a little bit down, and now I'm going to go through the reverse process. I'm going to take the D-pin out slow. You see my fingers guiding it, so then it's not making any noise. Like this. Take it down. Now I'm going to tip the platform, that's the way I like to do it. Push the cable, get it out, and now I need to use my two hands. The left hand to guide, the right hand to push. And I don't want to force it, otherwise I'm going to make noise. I'm just going slow so that the cable is finding its way. It goes really fast, it's out. Now I'm just going to put it back in for next time. So again, just 3 bolts in, push the cable, grab the D-pin, push it slowly inside, just like so. And now we are ready to leave. Just going to fold it like this, put it on my shoulder and go. So now let's compare with a climber, you know, that's a lone wolf. So, you know, those things are noisy, they're in plastic, but you know, you need to be careful. So you can see I'm probably making more noise already than I was doing with the Lean Ascent. Then you need to get these things away. You cannot use your two hands, so there is more noise because you can feel and hear this thing going through. And then you need to get it on the tree, and you can see how difficult it is to maneuver. Oh. And you also need to, I haven't used it in a while, secure those parts. So you can see it's not that convenient. Then you feed it through. Probably need to have a big angle forwards, and then you will put it like this. So when you will step on it, same thing as a Lean Ascent, you want to step on the outside. If you step on the inside, you know, you are going to tip it and it can fall down just like this. When you have the bar, it's preventing it from falling too far down, but then it's difficult to readjust it again. But you can see that, you know, if you put too much weight in front, this thing is going down. So whether you use a climber or a climbing platform, make sure you remove slack as soon as you can once you step on it. So that's the difference between the Lean Ascent and you can see when you remove everything how much more noise you are going to make. So, you know, I think everything is relative. You need to get used to stuff and be careful, go slow. And the bigger the stuff, the more noise you are going to make. So the Lean Ascent is small. So now if you take the top seat of the Lone Wolf modified, you can see that, you know, same thing, you will have to come to the tree, get this out, and you can hear it's making more noise than the cable because I cannot control it with my second hand. So in my utilization, the Lean Ascent is quieter for me. And once you put that around, same thing, you know, trying to use your body to hold it. Usually I will do the same thing, I will tip it and then put it like this, adjust it if I need to, like that,
And same thing, you want to have your weight on the outside. If you put your weight, as you can see on the, you remove your weight from the outside, just like this, it can spring. And if it tips, it falls down. So you want to make sure that, you know, you are always connected to the tree, you remove the slack and try to keep your weight on your back heels as much as possible. It's working like a lineman's belt. So lineman's belt, you know, you stay away like this, you are good. You get close to the tree, the rope is falling down. So it's the same principle. So put your weight on your back heels and only put weight forward when you want to move the platform up or down. That's it, same mechanism. Works just as good. But actually, as you can see, I never did the comparison, but personally I'm more quiet with the Lean Ascent because I can guide the cable with my two hands compared to this where I cannot. So even if it's not very noisy, I'm making more noise because I cannot control it. This video is taking longer than I thought. The last topic we wanted to talk about today is climbing leaning trees. I don't know if you can really see well on the video, but this tree is going like this and then like that. On a tree like that, you don't want to be fighting gravity when you climb. So similar to setting up climbing sticks, you don't want to set up climbing sticks on this side of the tree. It's really uncomfortable, difficult to climb. You want to set them up on top of the lean. So that's the same with a climbing platform. You want to climb the tree on this side, on top of the lean, not under the lean. Depending on the tree configuration, it might be difficult to get started on the spine or on the top of the lean. So you can start, you know, potentially under or on the side, and then as you climb, you can pivot and keep on climbing. So I'm taking an example on the video on an apple tree. So no bark on this tree, and you can see that the platform is pretty gripping the tree pretty good. But you know, critical is for you to trust your equipment, starting with your tethered rope, your ascender, and your harness or saddle. This is really critical. You need to trust those three elements 100%. If you don't, you are going to second guess everything and not be very efficient. Once you do, you know that once your tether is around the tree, you have no slack on your rope, and you are connected to your harness, nothing should happen to you. You are connected securely to the tree. As long as the tree is healthy, you are safe. And once you are safe, you can start moving your body around and have your equipment follow where you want to go. So the benefit of the Lean Ascent is you can tighten, you know, those foot loops, and they can be very well connected to your feet. So that way, you know, when you move around the tree, the platform is going to follow what you want the platform to do, and then you would be able to climb those leaning trees. So climbing tips, you know, try to get your weight as much as possible on your back heels, especially when you are climbing trees with you know, grips that are difficult to get. And tips number 2, if you climb leaning trees, try to get on top of the limb. That's going to make the climb much easier. But all those are possible with a climbing platform. Once you get used a little bit more to it and trust your equipment, you will be able to do that. Just take a little bit of practice. It's not very difficult. It's more for confidence, you know. The first time you are in those trees hanging by your harness on just a tether, it's kind of weird, but that's the way it is. Beauty of the climbing platform is that, you know, every time you climb, you also have your weight on something that is strong and secure to the tree. It's just not enough, so make sure that you use your tethered rope with no slack, and that you are always connected to your harness or to your saddle. All right, I hope this video is useful for you,
and if you have any comments, questions, reach out to us. Good luck this season.